to, first of all, the bigger picture. So we're going to take a step back to put everything into perspective and then go deeper into the quantum creation process. We're going to learn an amazing technique to apply to actually embody more our higher self, our vision, and how to overcome the challenges that inevitably come on the journey. Sabine is saying, I recorded my manifesto to save energies from the summer solstice and I enjoy it. Amazing. Yes. Good. Good. Yes. So let's just take a few moments just to settle in, to come back to presence, to our sovereignty. Remember the two parts. So first of all, connecting with our vertical tube. So bring the energy in, connect with the body, with the breath. Inhale and exhale on the vertical tube from the root to the crown. Exhale down and just call in the energies from outside to your center. And come back to presence, to this moment. And from this core, from the center, we can expand our awareness like a bubble to form around our bodies, 1 meter in all directions, and just own this space and internally declare, this is our home, this is my home, this is my sovereign kingdom. So connecting with our higher self, expanding the awareness, opening the heart, and holding, keeping this presence, this awareness. Let's have a good, wonderful intention for this session to get the most out of it. So as we were discussing from the previous sessions, as we are building, right, step by step, we said that we have two lives, right? One that represents our authentic self, the other one that represents our wounded lower self-identity. So in order to actually fulfill and live our soul mission, our divine destiny, we have to come back to who we truly are, to our authenticity, to our unique vibration. So that's why we started with the activation to connect with this space, with our heart space. And then we created the higher self-identity. Who is that person, that identity who's holding this frequency? How does he or she carry himself? What are his or her beliefs and so on? And we did, as Sabine was saying, the manifesto, right? Which is like a declaration, this is who I am, this is my true identity. And it's not about improving ourselves, yeah, right? It's just remembering who we truly are as our essence, our divine being. So in the second session, we explored a little more the process, and we remember the pyramid, how we actually embody that frequency, because it's easy to connect in meditation, right? When we don't have distractions, we kind of bypass in a way the fears, the limiting beliefs, everything, the nervous system, like it's safe. We can access that place, right? But in real life, our job actually is to bring that frequency till the body, till the cells, until the nervous system. So we explored how important is the nervous system to hold actually this frequency. Because if we don't, and remember, right, the nervous system has two capacities, two things that are important. First, to be regulated, to be in a place of calm, of feeling peace and safe. And the other one is to increase the capacity. how much light frequency can it hold. And we did learn some practices in order to develop both of these qualities. So we saw from the higher self, which is connected with spirit, with the higher realms, then we have the mental body, then we have the astral, right? The emotional, the energetic body, and then the physical body and the nervous system. So that is the whole path of embodiment. So today we're going to explore this path, but from a different angle, let's call it. What are the steps? And there are 7+1 steps in order to make this embodiment process. Because as we shared actually from the beginning, in order to actually manifest our soul mission, to actually live our divine destiny, what we are called to do, what we are called to serve, to share our gifts, we not necessarily need to focus so much on the external. That's important, and we're going to do a module like how to actually do that on the external, like the strategies, let's call them. But that's like 10-20%. The most of it is the internal process of embodiment, of embodying this frequency. And when we do that, our vision actually manifests in the real world. When that frequency gets into the cells, into the nervous systems, right, then it's the correspondence. So in the physical reality, we actually manifest that vision as well. Does it make sense? Yeah, good. So let's explore a little bit the steps. And as you said, as we shared this many times, this is the model, the simple one. These are the 3 steps. But today we're going to make it even more detailed, 7+1. But these are the 3 steps. And we call them the 3 A's, A, right? Because each one starts with an A. The first one is alignment. We are connecting with our higher self, with the vision, with the higher self identity, right? This is the first step. Then the second step, it's anchoring. It's actually embodying, and we saw what that means, and we'll explore more. And the third one, it's alchemy. Alchemizing all the limiting beliefs, the fears, the blockages, the old story, the old identity that is coming up, right? So this is the simple model. But now let's explore the little bit the more detailed one. So the first step in this journey, of course, it's still coming up. It's still aligning with our higher self-identity. Is the identity shift that we started from the first session, right? Because this is how we actually um, change and actually can actually reach our unique frequency. It's not a step-by-step process. It's aligning first of all, right? And we saw how we do that. And what I want to share is that we don't do it with force because it's not going to work. I noticed also myself in the process, like I want to stay in that frequency to align more and more each day, and it creates a lot of pressure on the nervous system. That's not the point. That's not the key. It's not going to work because it's still the focus is still on the lower self. We have to be very present, very aware where is the focus and from which energy we are doing all the process. That's the key. Awareness we shared before is the key in all of this journey. But the perspective that I want to invite you to follow this process, it's about devotion. Devotion. Devotion to our higher self, to our true identity, to our being, to our soul, because actually this is what we are doing. We are calling our soul home through this process. It's not only about the mission, that's of course the path through which we are doing this process. Linnea is asking, what is the difference between higher self and soul? So there are more definitions. In my definition, the higher self is the aspect of us who is connected with spirit. It's our, let's say, divine potential. The spirit is the I am. We're going to talk a little bit more later today about how to balance actually this being and becoming. The soul is the aspect of us, is the vehicle through which we experience the human um, experience, and it's composed also of the lower self, of the ego. You can say also the higher self. It's also part of the soul. So the soul is the whole vehicle through which we experience this human um, life. And the soul has more aspects. One part is the higher self, the other is the lower self, right? And another is the ego. So the higher self is the aspect of our soul, let's call it, which is connected with the spirit, with our um, highest divine potential. The lower self, it's the wounded part of us, or the shadows part, mostly connected with the subconscious. And the higher self is mostly connected with the superconscious. Does it make sense? Okay. So um, this is the first step, right? Connecting with our higher self. Lower self as the inner child. Um, yes, it's connected with the inner child, but lower self, let's call it the wounded part of the inner child. Okay? Because the inner child also has a lot of gifts, talents. Yeah? Okay. Good. They are very useful questions, but I would rather not lose track of because these sessions are very focused, concentrated, as you know. So, but yeah, it's good to clarify all this. So the second step in the embodiment process after we align, then we call it or facing the truth, or holding the manifestation structure. What do I mean by this? We have let's draw the current reality, whereas usually we're functioning from our lower self, from our ego, when we are not aware, when we are not present, when we are not connecting with our higher self. Our default state is functioning, our focus is on the ego, on the beliefs of our unconscious beliefs, our wounds, and we're trying to solve reality. I mean the current reality, and we have the vision, right? What is our heart's calling? You like my drawing? I'm terrible with this, but I hope you'll get the idea. So we said that we're connecting with the vision, with our higher self-identity, right? But still, that doesn't mean we are neglecting or bypassing the current reality, where we are in relationship with the vision. So because this creates a tension. It creates a tension between the 2 points, which actually is creative, which actually is the energy that creates, that manifests. So when we hold this structure, this between the current reality and the vision, and we direct the energy towards the vision, then the universe actually is the one who is manifesting. Our job is actually to hold this structure in our consciousness, and we'll do a process. The quantum creation technique will be related to this, so it will become much more clear. But what I want you to get, and for all of us, it's a good reminder, because I also observe myself, when we are in the current reality, our focus is going again. I don't have enough clients. It's not working. I need to be in a more different environment or whatever. Something is not working. What we tend to do is to solve what is not working, and we're trying to solve with the mind. Maybe I need to create, I don't know, posts on Instagram to go to a certain networking event. Like what we're trying to come with solutions from our mind, which is never going to work because the mind will always try to solve our wounds. Our limiting belief is based only on the information it has gathered. Instead, when we are connecting with our vision, we're connecting. So you'll see in the process, we're actually withdrawing, we're letting this drop. We're not trying to solve the problem from the current reality. We're letting it drop, and we're connecting with the vision. And from here, from the higher self, we're asking the question, we're asking for guidance, right? So we're going to do the process a bit later. But I want you to understand that we don't neglect the current reality because it's like a GPS, the starting point and the end point. So this creates a tension, and it's a soul tension and the ego tension. The ego tension, it's all the limiting beliefs that we don't deserve, imposter syndrome, and so on, which we discussed, right? This is the tension that we need to alchemize and solve. But the soul tension is good to create because it's the soul tension that we create between these 2 points. It's actually the yearning of the soul. So this is actually what manifests the deep desire of the soul. We create the pathway for the energy to manifest. Does it make sense? Yeah. So it's important to hold this structure and to actually increase the yearning, the soul tension. And when we do the manifesto, when we do the visualization, when we do the repeating the vision and holding the space, we're actually increasing the soul tension. We're putting more energy into the vision, and we're increasing the pathway for our vision to come true. But in the same time, we have to learn how to decrease the ego tension, which is the resistance. And we'll learn how to do that at the next module, at Catalyst, when we learn how to alchemize the limiting beliefs. So this is the second step. The third one is taking aligned action. Like what we shared before, we need to connect with our vision, with our higher self, with our guides, and with the superconscious, with the infinite mind, and then from there get intuitive guidance. Not to try to solve from current reality, right? Because this is how we are used to solve, to do things, and to struggle, to put a lot of effort to that, right? The wounded masculine, I will do it, and so on. No, what we do, we find what is the shortcut through inspiration, through intuition, and then we take aligned action. So this is the shortcut when we take aligned action. We might get a totally surprising idea. Do this event, go meet these people, call someone, or something that comes up. And it happened to me, it happens all the time, even recently. I remember one morning I wanted to do something to create a project, but then I looked at myself and I realized I'm agitated. So I stopped, I did the process, connected, and the vision, the idea that I got was totally different than what I thought in the beginning. So this is the shortcut, because when we connect with this space, with our higher self, everything is already sorted out. We don't have to find the solution. When we align energetically, vibrationally, everything, the whole plan, it's sorted out for us. We just need to follow, but we need to follow step by step because it's not going to be revealed the whole path, right? So that's why we need to trust the process, to take the step, then the next one will be revealed, and so on. Yeah? We're not used to this kind of map or strategy because the mind, right, Anka, wants to know everything from the beginning. Yeah. So this is the third step. And of course, for this, we need to expand our risk factor. We need to embody courage because most of the times we require, it's not necessarily that it's hard to take that step, but most of the time will be out of our comfort zone, will be something that will be challenging for the ego. Because the ego will try to make us do things that it's comfortable, that it's in our, let's say, comfort zone or what is known. But when we get the intuitive ideas like go to Bali or whatever, might take us out of our comfort zone. So that for that we need the regulated nervous system. For that we need to activate the divine masculine as well. So you notice that it's a balance, it's a union between the divine feminine, which gives the intuition, the guidance, and the vision, first of all. But then we need to follow up with the divine masculine as well, with courage, with following through, perseverance, and so on. Then the fourth step, it's one of the most important ones. We mentioned it along the way, but we call it passing the test. We call it in different ways. So as you notice, these steps are not carved in stone, but I wanted to get more the idea behind it. So we're calling it passing the tests. And this is where everything changes. This is where life invites us to actually step up on and to get more embodied in our higher self-identity, or on the contrary, to give more power to the lower self, to the old identity. And this alchemical points or intersection points happen